Hey guys, welcome to the first video for this channel. So this channel is really going to be focusing on personal finance, how to make different income streams work for you and your schedule, and really trying to get that financial freedom and not having to work that 9-to-5 job just as your sole base of income. So these are just ways to supplement that, and if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, it's perfect for you. So feel free to like and subscribe below to start engaging with this. Okay, so with that being said, we'll just jump right into it. So if you're here, you probably already know the idea of print on demand. What it is, essentially, if you don't already know, is it's you partner with companies like Teespring, for example, and in this video we'll focus on that, and Redbubble is a competitor for that. But what these types of companies do is you just upload your design on there, and they print it on t-shirts and mugs, and they only do that when someone purchases it, so you don't have to yourself worry about inventory. You're not buying these shirts in bulk when you're not shipping it out to the customers yourself. It's all the company. And so how it works is you can set how much margin you want. So if you want a 20% cut or commission for that, so it'll just increase the price of the shirt when people see it and buy it, then you'll get that 20% straight to you. And there's a dashboard view, and you can track all of that in both platforms. So with that being said, my favorite out of the two is definitely Teespring. But I do upload my designs, the same designs, into both platforms, Teespring and Redbubble. And the reason for that is if I have one design in both places, because they're non-exclusive, I'm able to get a wider reach in terms of organic traffic. So SEO, when you type in Google, you might see a Redbubble link versus a Teespring link, and one of them will get to the customer faster. So that's the reason why I focus my efforts on Teespring first, and then I duplicate those designs into Redbubble as well. With that being said, it's really important to get your first sale on Teespring as soon as you can. The reason for that is because Teespring tracks a trust score. And so what that trust score is essentially a way that Teespring can kind of monitor and figure out which accounts and which sellers are trustworthy enough to start promoting more onto their site. So after your first sale, what they'll do is they will start pushing your stuff higher up on their search list, just because they know that your products are higher quality products that people are engaging with. There are a lot of designs on these websites that typically maybe don't sell, but once you sell, you'll stand up a lot more, and it will push everything else down and yours slightly higher up, depending on how many it sells. And so step one really is to do your design research. Really important note for this is it can be as simple as just simple text. Those actually have been performing extremely well for my Teespring and Redbubble platforms. It's just simple text. I'm not a graphic designer by trade. I should have started off with that. I went to school for marketing, and I am now working in tech within marketing and doing this on the side as well as this grows. And it's been doing extremely well for me, so I just wanted to share all of this knowledge to you guys. But anyway, so the first steps of really doing that design research is figuring out what are people looking for, what are people purchasing already out there, so that you can get inspiration from, and then translate that in an authentic way into your own voice, and then promote that. So the first step really is to figure out the niche that you want to go into, how specific you want to be. I recommend the more specific the better. So for example, let's create a storefront in Teespring for car lovers, right? So in that storefront, you want to be super specific and only be posting designs related to cars. You don't want to put anything yoga related. You don't want to put anything else at all, because when you send this traffic over, they might be confused as to why there are random things in there as opposed to having something super specific for them. And the less options, the better in my opinion, the less options, the better for the user, and more specific options, so that way it's easier for them to go to the checkout flow. Anyways, I'll take a step back. So creating that design and doing that research, I recommend using Etsy.com. So it's obviously free, but if you haven't heard of Etsy yet, it's a way for small businesses and sellers to promote and sell their products. The way you can kind of understand after you identify that niche, you can go into Etsy, and let's say, again, with that car example, you go into car shirts or car t-shirts. From there, you can see the reviews and how many times it's been recommended by other people and the ratings and etc. So that's really how I figure out what types of designs are more popular. And so if it's the more, you know, like let's say it's just like a car image and like a sassy car quote or something like that, then what I'll do is I'll use that as inspiration, but I never copy verbatim. So I'll change the words around, for example, or I'll change the way that the image is positioned and the words around, for example, so it differentiates yourself and you don't want to just be copying. Teespring does, if it's flagged, they do identify that and then make your trust score a little bit lower as well, so that's something to keep in mind. Anyway, so step one, again, find your niche. Step two is to do some research on Etsy, specifically with reviews. And then once you figure out what kinds of designs you want to do, then you want to focus on the ones that are simpler if you're not a graphic designer, because I do find that the simpler ones, like just the basic text, again, they tend to sell better. And that's been working for me, and I know for other Teespring sellers as well. And then moving into the more specific, so the design tools that I use, and I haven't really disclosed this to anyone else before. And so I'm excited to share this with you guys today, is the Typorama app for iOS. So if you have an iPhone, use Typorama. You can get a free version, and there's also a paid version as well. I believe it's $2 a month, where they just provide more font options for you. So this is really where I focus on creating those really simple t-shirts with the simple text on there. And yeah, it's been working great so far. I tried the paid version. It didn't have that many more options, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend the paid option, but the free option has a lot of great fonts as well already. So to start with the free one. And the second one is Photoshop. I just happen to have prior experience just from school and from other, you know, in my past jobs with Photoshop, but I know that Photoshop is a little bit more scary and daunting. There's just so many different things to know. I just use it for simple cleanups of everything before I move it in, but it's very optional, and Typorama pretty much is my main go-to, especially for the simpler designs. So the next step after you create those designs, you want to make the campaigns and upload your designs to Teespring, and then build up, what we call SEO. So in Google, that like helps with your ranking there as well. So making sure that you have good keywords along with your designs. And you can get those keywords from the listings on Etsy as well. So I use whatever I see on Etsy as really inspiration for my keywords, because that audience would be really similar to mine as well. So yeah, and then once you have the design uploaded to Teespring, also don't forget to upload it to a Redbubble account as well. So in Google search, it shows up twice, which is great for you because it's 2 times the chance of your audience going to that specific product. And then, yeah, so once you create your storefront, grab that link, and we're gonna move into the most exciting part for me, which is the social media aspect of it. So you wanna create a Facebook, an Instagram, and on occasion, depending on what that trend is or what your niche is, if that audience is the younger audience that's typically on TikTok, I would recommend using TikTok as kind of the third platform to promote your products. It's been extremely great just based off the reach. I would, again, create a net new account so it doesn't mess up your algorithm, but once you create those hashtags, it'll place you into a bucket, and then it'll share it with similar audiences there. So it's been great. We've driven thousands of users in one day to our product, and conversion was about 5 to 10% that day for that specific trend, which was really exciting. So anyways, with Instagram and Facebook, taking a step back from TikTok, that's just an optional one, but Instagram and Facebook are definitely the go-tos that you should have. Because they're owned by the same company, you want to link them together. They're able to be linked together. So what that does is it enables you to upload a photo and a caption into Instagram, let's say, and then there's an option to toggle over, and you can share that to Facebook as well. So you don't have to post it 2 times. You can just post it once and automatically gets transferred to your Facebook business account, which you'll create. And then when you do these social media posts, to get the images, you can either take screenshots of Teespring or Redbubble. Redbubble has models in them, so it looks more unique in terms of like a mock-up. It looks really realistic, so you can take Redbubble screenshots once you upload the designs there and use that on your social media. There's also a website called Placeit. So with Placeit, it is paid. I believe it's $29.99 a month. I've used it for the first month, but it's great for high quality mock-ups. And when I say mock-ups, it's essentially just, it looks like people are wearing your product when they aren't yet. So you can start promoting it right when you create the design, as opposed to sending it to influencers and other people to wear your product first, which is fantastic. So it cuts down the time a lot. And with those high quality mock-ups, again, even though it is paid, it makes your social media look exponentially more professional, and the more professional it looks, obviously the more attraction it will get into a user being more inclined to click your link and go through that checkout flow. And then in terms of posting, I would recommend 1 to 3 a day. However, if that is a lot, I know if you're balancing a full-time job and everything else like that, that might not be feasible. So if anything, try to at least do it 1 to 2 times a week. That will keep your audience engaged. And with that being said, with each Instagram post, you want to be sure to do research on the top 30 hashtags or keywords that you want to reach your specific audience to. And again, 30 is the max, so that's plenty. And what you can do is you can type in hashtag, let's say cars, right? Like hashtag car fan or something. And then you see all the different listings below of related hashtags that your audience might be inclined to check out as well. So it's just a way for you to get more reach. On TikTok, it's a similar way. On Facebook, it's a similar way, but definitely do your research on the hashtags. Yeah, and that covers it as kind of the intro to Teespring and Redbubble, which in the industry is called print on demand. And you'll get that commission into a dashboard, and then they'll pay you out from there. So it's a really smooth process. I really like it because you don't have to worry about something like drop shipping, where you have to worry about your manufacturers and you have to worry about shipping the products out yourself. You don't even see the product, so it's really smooth. All you do is you create that design and you market and you promote it in really smart ways. And so I'm hoping that these tips really help you create your Teespring business or your Redbubble business. I recommend both. Yeah, so stay tuned, feel free to subscribe, and we'll have more videos every 2 weeks.